Hey everybody, welcome to Bura. In this episode, we're going to be asking the question, will work from home last forever? Alright, welcome back. Before we start this video, I want to make sure you like and subscribe. The more likes and subscribers we get, the more content we can make. So, will work from home last forever? The pandemic has basically made working from home the norm, but again, can such a good thing last forever? And is it even a good thing to begin with? Now, as an introvert, I absolutely love working from home, but more specifically, I like working by myself. Now, I have an office, I really like that office, and I will never work from home again because I was working from home before it was cool. And one of the reasons for this is I lived in the big cities and I basically had a room in my apartment that was my office, and I didn't really like that as much. I like walking to a place, etc. But the pandemic has pretty much changed everything. People can now move outside of the big cities into more rural areas and have a big plot of land, and you can actually build your own office on your property. You can basically buy a big farm and then put your own office on it as well, because distance doesn't really matter when you're working from home. But will this last forever? One of the biggest pieces of news in the last little while is that Salesforce has basically made work from home permanent, and Salesforce employs a lot of people, and they've pretty much said it's the death to 9 to 5. Now, this is something that should have happened a long time ago. 9 to 5 is great for factory work, but not great for creative work. Anyone who's done anything the least bit creative knows that creativity can happen at any time of the day. So I think that the death of the 9 to 5 is a good thing. However, one of the things that I really recommend creative people do is force themselves to work, because one of the things I learned when I was trying to get my creative career and basically my career going is that sometimes I would work harder at my actual job than perhaps my business or my career. And if you really want to be self-employed or work from home, you really have to be self-motivated. Now, of course, not everyone is self-motivated. There are going to be a lot of people that need to go back into the office, and I bet you that there are going to be still offices and there's still going to be demand in the big cities. However, I think the work from home genie is out of the bottle, and what's going to happen is there's going to be more work from home from this point forward. Now, of course, it really depends on what the big companies do. Yahoo tried this and it didn't work. So will Google, Apple, and all the tech companies do this? Well, I think that they probably will have some work from home, and I do think they will have some offices because there will be a blend of both. Now, the other thing that's been happening that's really amazing is the fact that everyone is moving out of California, because why should everyone cram into such a small place? All it does is create property values and lift them through the roof. One of the things I really hope that happens in the next 10 years is that the cities empty just a little bit. And the reason why I think this is a good thing is that people can go own a house somewhere else that's maybe closer to a big city, but not exactly in the big city, and they'll be just as wealthy, if not wealthier, because they're living in a slightly better spot. Now, this of course depends on where you live. If you live in the United States, this isn't as big of a problem because there's so much supply of great housing everywhere, and everywhere is so serviced that you really might not notice a difference between living in a huge city and living in a smaller city or even a town. But in other countries, specifically the Kansas countries, a lot of people just plow right into the big cities, and I think that this isn't a good thing, especially for these countries. What I think this does is lift property values that are way overvalued, and there's a ton of land, so there's a lot more that can be enjoyed. So let's say you like working from home. How do you cement this in your career? Well, believe it or not, I do think that there will be companies that will force employees back, but other companies will work from home. So if you do want to work from home, I do recommend having 1 or 2 side hustles, for example, freelance jobs, to make sure that you can constantly work from home. If your main job goes bust or the company calls everyone back into the office, then you at least have something else. So if you are ahead of the curve and you are buying a property that's way out there, then you probably are getting a good discount here. What I do recommend is, while your current job is work from home, to pay off your mortgage as quickly as possible. That way, if you lose your job, then you're not stuck with a huge mortgage bill and you might not have to move back in the city. So I've been looking at a lot of interviews of people that have been moving out from the big cities, and one of the things that I hear them say constantly is that I don't really need to go back. So if you move out to the country or a smaller town and you really like it and you don't want to move back to the big city where all the jobs might be in the future, then I highly recommend that you work extra hard to make sure that your house and your financials are in the best shape possible. Remember, if I told you my business only had one income stream, you would say that that is not a good thing. You need to approach your career in the same way possible. If your company goes bust, that is, you don't have a job, then you don't have any income. So you need at least maybe one or two. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do. You can freelance, you can invest, you can day trade, you can do a lot of other things. And I highly recommend that you at least have two sources of income. That is your main job and investing. And this is the bare minimum that you need to do today. Now, if you're really good, you maybe have your job, some investing, and a couple of side hustles here and there. The other thing that's gonna happen is that there are going to be companies that are always gonna be working from home. So you need to get in touch with a lot of recruiters today, even if you have a job, because you need to get in touch with the recruiters that are recruiting people from working from home, just in case, again, your job goes bust. Because remember, everyone's job can go bust at any given time. All right, so that concludes this video. Let me know your thoughts. Did you move out from the big cities? How was it? Are you working from home permanently? Is your company letting you work from home? Do you think they're gonna call everyone back? I wanna hear your comments down below. Remember that this channel doesn't do Patreon, instead we sell our digital products down below. The more we get from the products that you buy below, the more content we can make, especially the free content here on this YouTube channel. If you really like this channel and you really like my company, Mammoth Interactive, you can subscribe to Mammoth Interactive's huge library of content. We release 20 to 60 hours of fresh new content per month, every single month. We have a monthly option and a yearly option, and it is really the best way to not only help out this channel, but my company, Mammoth Interactive well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.